At the end of October, Portugal's Parliament approved amendments to the citizenship law. The main change extends the naturalization period from 5 to 10 years for most applicants. In this video, Immigrant Invest experts explain how these updates impact investors applying for the Portuguese Golden Visa, as well as others planning to relocate to Portugal.
Hello, everyone. Hello to the people who are listening us or who will listen us later on. We would like to discuss today the actual changes which are affecting Portugal, which will affect our clients, which will affect also all clients who will have in the future the interest in this program. And it is very important for Golden Visa applicants, but also for all other visas applicants, to be aware about actual developments, what is ongoing, and to be prepared in order to have a certain plan B, how they will further make any steps, decisions, or preparations. I'm here today with Marielle. Maria, she's our in-house advocate. So we are very happy to have her on board because we are working now as a one team in very close cooperation, which provides us the opportunity to react very quickly and to be always in front of all the challenges, questions which our clients have. And Marielle will share with us also the latest experience which we're facing with the clients. So good morning, Marielle. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning,
for your time today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. That's it. I joined the team to bring more efficiency. It's a challenge in Portugal. As everyone knows, there is a backlog in AIMA that demands really close follow-up to update the news and to react efficiently to all the demands. So currently they voted in the past 28 October the law. It was approved by the parliament and was sent to the president that now can in 20 days send to the constitutional court that the majority believes he will do that. He can promulgate the law and then publish and it will be active, or he can veto and then send again. So there are no changes yet. We have to wait for this period. What are the main changes that this law maybe, if approved as it is now, what it will bring? First, the period for citizenship from 5 to 7 for EU citizens and Portuguese-speaking countries, and 10 years for other nationalities. And the time also starts from the first residence card approval, the issuance, not anymore from the date of application. Of course, there is a lot of discussions, different points of view on the constitutionality, especially because the change may affect differently people who applied in the same date. For example, in 2021, a lot of people it was still possible to apply for real estate. And 2 people who applied and one got the biometrics, they start counting the period, and another one was in the backlog and it will have now the biometrics. They would have completely different timelines, and the constitution actually protect these people. So we have to wait and for now be ready for any circumstance. So separating people, what can be done now with the current facts? So,
Marielle, if I
yes.
can ask the question, because I think it's the most frequent questions from our clients now. So actually, all the present discussions, information in mass media or videos, this is just projecting the potential outcome. And this is like simulating the potential next steps. Yeah. So we don't know yet what will be the decision, because we all heard that different people were lobbying, sending different requests, meeting government and parliamentary representatives, asking to consider the potential consequences which they will have for the Golden Visa applicants who already have Golden Visa, who are still waiting for their card or appointment. Some of them saying that, okay, let's shift to 7 years also for the Golden Visa applicants, like to provide them additional opportunity or benefit. So we don't know.
We don't know
this is
yet.
the important answer.
Exactly. There are many different approaches to this law. For example, the Portuguese Bar Association understands that it violates the constitutional principle of equality. The Superior Council of Magistrates, the judge in Portugal, also warns actually about the principle of the legitimate expectations, because especially for Golden Visa applicants, they legitimately expected by law to, in 5 years, programming all the financing and economical plan to 5 years, and then to double it can generate a loss that was not expected. So all this, there are several legal scholars that are also defending that it's just a political choice. The period of citizenship is not a right. And the main professor that is a leading constitutionalist here, the Professor Jorge Miranda, he understands that also it can generate implications in the inequality, the legal certainty must be broken, and also it's a vague wording in the definitions of the new law. So all this still needs to be addressed. Probably it will be sent to the Constitutional Court, and then afterwards it will change. So the word for now, I would say, that is efficiency, is really to check with the legal team what is the client's situation individually, because every situation demands one action. So this is the most important things to be done by now, meaning prepare to the biometrics, prepare to permanent residency approval or submission, prepare to the citizenship submission. So each one has a process, and the most important is to be efficient, to apply right after, because applying you have the right to get the decision from the...
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me step in here, because it's important questions which we're receiving. As you said, we as a big company, Immigrant Invest, we do have a lot of type of clients who already have Golden Visa, who applied and waiting for biometrics, who applied and provided biometrics and waiting for the cards now, and the category of the clients who are considering applying for Golden Visa. So these are absolutely different categories. And of course, the main question from the people, what is the perspectives? Yeah. So what I should create as a roadmap, as my strategic plan, in order to solve out the situation. Because I think still Golden Visa in Portugal is one of the most, I would say, interesting products, because the requirements for the minimum stay is there. I understood that these kind of provisions are not touched with the potential changes in the law. Still, it is possible to hold the Golden Visa for 5 years, and then you are eligible after 5 years, in case if the law will be changed, to apply for so-called permanent residence, which is very strong document as well, which actually provide you the permanent residence rights. And then, as I know, it is usually just prolonged and you provide certain type of documents, but it's not so difficult as you apply first time. And then, of course, if it will be 10 years, the people who are holding 5 years permanent residence will be eligible to apply for the citizenship within the new law requirements. So I would like to stay on this part more in detail, because we need to help to our clients to understand what they can expect, how they need to prepare, and what is important to do right now?
So let's separate the clients first for those who already applied and have the biometrics schedule. These clients need now to prepare the documents for biometrics. The biometrics are being scheduled for the beginning of the next year. So all the backlog since 2021, they already moved. So we are having a very good news on this side. So it's to prepare, to renew, to talk with your legal team, to check all the documents that will be necessary. I've been this week in different branches in AIMA, and I confirmed that only the main applicant is being scheduled and only the main applicant will submit the documents for biometrics right now. So it was one of the questions of our clients, if they could bring and try in person to submit also the dependents, children, wives, spouses. No, it will be for now only the main applicant. So all the documents that must be updated are relative to the main applicant and the investment. So after getting the biometrics, the card, the good news also is that the cards are being issued in a reasonable time. So around 2 weeks, a month maximum, the card is already issued. So these are good news. From this, it starts counting the time for citizenship. So if you are waiting for citizenship, the period, if you already submitted, have your residence card for example, 4 years, the best for you is to start the Portuguese language course or to prepare for the A2 test at least 1 year in advance, minimum 6 months in advance, and already start thinking about how will be your proof of address in Portugal, the proof of residence that is also mandatory for the PR, the permanent residency, and also for citizenship. So once you turn from the 4th to the 5th year, it's very important to talk with your legal team also and check what's the best for you, because this proof of address can be residence that you purchase in Portugal, you rent in Portugal, or even a loan to use agreement. So depends. We have clients who has, for example, invested in Golden Visa, have clients who has friends who owns a house here and can provide the loan to use agreement. So every client needs to analyze their current situation, and any agreement, the lease agreement, is also accepted. It's a question that the clients has, oh, my biometrics is scheduled in Portimão. Do I have to rent a place in Portimão or Algarve? No, you can rent if you want all over Portugal, anywhere in the country is a valid proof of address.
Can I ask also the question,
Sure.
because from my own experience in Immigrant Invest, dealing with different clients who applied for permanent residence, there is also the question, so is it influencing the number of the people of your family for the square meters, and how large is the apartment or house which you are renting or which you are using? Yeah, and in case if there are certain type of minimum requirements for the income or for the salary or for these things, yeah, because in some countries there is a clear threshold which you need to fulfill in order to be eligible for permanent residence. What is in Portugal?
Yes, so it changes accordingly to the type of visa, because, for example, for the Golden Visa, the minimum stay is actually until they get the permanent residency. It's not mandatory, but we advise the clients to keep the same tracking that they were, the same path that they were following the previous 5 years to get the permanent residency. So 7 years in the first and 14 days.
7 days, not 7
days.
years.
Yeah, sorry. 7 days in the first year and 14 every 2 years. So we advise the clients to keep this path. But it's not mandatory by law. So we can also discuss it. Never happened, but it's possible because the law doesn't demand it. So for the Golden Visa is not mandatory. Is not the proof of address is mandatory, but it's not. They will not check. For other type of visas, especially the 7 and the 8, we have a lot of applicants. Yes, it depends the number of applicants, the size of the flat or the property they will rent, purchase, or even have a comodato, that is the loan to use. It's important to consider the number of applicants for this type of visa.
Okay, but if we talk about Golden Visa applicants, which are much more concerned now, because I think that the people who applied for other type of visas, they were considering a different type of scenarios, yeah, and also many of them are actually moving in Portugal, yeah, having the business there or something like this, so it's different. But the people who actually invested 500,000 and they would like to have a certain kind of return, stability and guarantee. So this is the main category. In this case, we are talking about keeping this investment until you actually fully applied for the permanent residence. And then, of course, there is no requirement for the minimum stay. But of course, we should stay this period, which we're recommending, and usually this is the case. Actually, all of our clients, I would say, stayed even more within all this period. So I don't think it's an issue. They like to come to Portugal, so it's not a topic. What about the practical part? So with this investment, when and how? Yeah.
So when at least 6 months before the period necessary to apply for your PR or the citizenship, you're ready, please contact the legal team and check what are the possibilities for you. And it can be, as I mentioned, anywhere in Portugal. So if it fulfills your requirements, it doesn't have a minimum, but in average, the rentals now in Portugal, it will be from 500 to limitless. So It depends the requirements, it depends. We will also of course, support our clients to find the most trustworthy and efficient real estate agents to find the accommodation accordingly to their needs. And there is also not the minimum income for the applicants to rent or to apply for none of both.
Okay. This is very important part, because in this case the people already have certain kind of assurance, because permanent residence 5 years, it's actually a common European rule. Yeah, it's actually applicable to all EU countries in case you fulfill the certain criteria. And here is the difference. Yeah, and since we have the difference in Portugal that there is such instrument like a Golden Visa, and with our clients who already applied and who are already in this program or who are considering to apply and will be in this program, I think it's very important way to permanent residence, which is also very strong document within the EU, which provides you a lot of additional opportunities. Yeah.
Yes, all the rights of living, residing, studying, working, except the vote and the passport. So it's really a strong document. And one thing that is important to mention is one question our clients also have about this residence here. Can it be Airbnb? Can I rent? No. Airbnb, no. It needs to be a contract or a loan or a lease agreement, but it needs to be effective contract. Airbnb, even for few months, no, it's not enough to prove the residency. And we strongly advise to have 1 year minimum contract before applying for the the citizenship or the permanent residency.
Okay. And if I applied for permanent residence and I received the permanent residence, I guess this permanent residence then could be enlarged for your family. So the family members could also receive the permanent resident status. And then you have 5 years, another 5 years to wait until in case the law will be approved, yeah.
Exactly.
So in case it will be 10 years, so you have to wait another 5 years. And after 5 years passed, you are eligible now to apply for the citizenship of Portugal. So what kind of advice or suggestions you can give here?
Yeah, so important to mention that before the PR, you will have to prepare for the A2 test or have the Portuguese course certificate, at least 150 hours. So, and it will be valid, for example, to apply for both. Imagine that you will apply first for the PR and later on for the citizenship. It must be just one. It will be enough to apply for both. It doesn't have
okay. So there is no
expiration date.
validity. Okay.
No, there is no
This is
validity.
important.
And also you can withdraw your investment from the moment of issuance of your PR. So it's also important for the investors to check with the legal team and with the fund the maturity of the fund you invested, because have some clients that are concerned also because the maturity of the fund will be incompatible with the time enough if the law changed for 10 years. So for now, there is no concern in this topic because, as I mentioned, the law is still not valid. So once the final law is approved and published, then it will be important also to talk with the fund, because also can change for a fund that has a maturity enough to be able to apply for permanent residency before the maturity of the fund.
Okay. So it's very important for the clients to get the qualified advice. So it should be legal first of all, but also from the fund or asset manager of this fund to get a clear picture what they can do, how they can do. So we suggest that you plan with the people who are qualified to do this planning because they know the latest changes and the rules.
This for sure is the most important aspect of this moment in Portugal, without any doubt. I have, for example, clients who came to us because they had problems with different law firms that, for example, one problem we had to manage were the not recognition of the dukes paid for some clients. Some other legal firms.
What is it? Sorry.
When we submit the Golden Visa at the ARI platform, they issue a document for payment, the Duke. And this Duke had an internal problem in the ARI system, and it was not being recognized. And while this Duke's not recognized, the Golden Visa is not submitted yet. So some other law firms advise the clients to pay twice, and the client paid, and yet the problem persisted. It's very important to have an efficient team because, for example, our decision was different. I follow up immediately with AIMA through many different channels. I called, I sent emails, I was in person there basically every day until the problem was solved. So these other clients I mentioned who paid twice, now they had two problems. One, because it took much longer to solve their issue. Second, because they paid twice, and now to get back this money, it will be very, very complicated. It's a governmental system, needs an administrative process, and the costs of the lawyer to submit this new process, it created another problem. So it's very important to have a close team that will get back to you, have a real-time follow-up, and that will know in the system and the difficulties, know the best strategy, design and execute very efficiently the best strategy to get the final result. This is for sure the
Okay.
most important point for now, because there are clients having more delays and extra costs due to the inefficiency of the team hired to take care of the process, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. And now I would like to discuss the pricing, so the budget for the people. In terms of budget for the Golden Visa, I think it's already very much familiar to all the people, and the conditions are very much transparent and open. Everybody knows everything. I would like to know, especially for the clients, for the needs of our clients, which kind of budget and payment the client will have to process in order to get the permanent residence.
So AIMA is updating every year. Let me check precisely here. I don't have it now, just a second. So the permanent residency for Golden Visa.
We can also tell, so I think in the case when they amend in every time, for the date of application, it will be another amount, but just average. So is it 6, 7, 8, 9,000 euros? So what is the amount?
So the first emission, it will be 8,463.40 cents. To renew 4,326.30. So these are the main costs. And afterwards, to apply for the PR, it will be 3,090.40 cents.
Okay, that's clear. And what is from your practice time of the review of the permanent residence application? Is it possible that you will have to wait like these 2 years or something with the backlog of the golden visas which we had and which seems to me now resolved by the government because they are doing huge amount of the appointments? I know that our company received like 100 or even more. So what will be the timing? What do you think? Of course, we cannot predict, but what is your practice here?
From my experience, the clients want to apply as soon as possible. So once they complete the 5 years, they want immediately to apply. I have clients actually that want to apply before, and we completely not advised to do that because the law is clear that all the requirements are analyzed in the moment of submission of the PR or the citizenship. So even, okay, but it's 1 month, let's apply. No, we advise to not take the risk unless the client is really willing and aware that has the high risk to be rejected. So now everyone is in a rush, wants to apply as soon as possible. The day that you complete the 5 years, and for now, the law still didn't change. So it's not yet from the day of issuance of the first card, but it's the day of the submission. So from the day you submitted, once you complete the 5 years, immediately you can apply for the citizenship. We highly recommend to do that. And for this, of course, you have to have all the other requirements, including the Portuguese language certificate, the proof of connection to Portuguese institutions. We advise, for example, to search for football clubs, to be associated to NGOs here, or something that proves the cultural or the bonds with the country. So it can be also done through institutions worldwide. So imagine that if you live in the US or China, you have many different institutions, Portuguese institutions that you can also be vinculated to. So it's important the client to search for this. This can be done immediately after getting the residence card. So, or even to submitted the Golden Visa, you don't have to wait until the last year. You can immediately do it. And it will be a good proof once you have the time enough to apply for the PR or the citizenship.
But the important question now in mind, so for example, you applied for permanent residence. So you are not withdrawing your Golden Visa investment, you are keeping this investment until you will get the permanent residence decision and card.
Yes, the
If I have to
issuance.
wait 1 year or 1.5 year, so what is the practice here? How much time I need to wait when I will get this permanent residence? It's clear that it depends on the profile, on the situation of the client, on the authority which is reviewing it. It's clear, but just to approximately consider something in mind.
Yeah, as I mentioned, for now, AIMA is being extremely efficient in issuing the cards. We don't know yet if this will also apply for the coming months in the PR, but it's highly expected that yes, because exactly the client can only withdraw the fund once the residence permit, the permanent residence permit is issued, the card. So this is very advisable to wait. And of course, I mentioned again the importance of having an efficient team working for you. Because, for example, for all types of visa here in Immigrant Invest, I can guarantee that once we have problems, for example, with issuance of a card, any type of visa, I start coming on a daily basis to AIMA to check the development of the process until the card is issued and the client already is able to pick it up. This is very important because also it depends on this follow-up, the urgency they give, because the system has its problems, and if the legal team doesn't follow up extremely closely, it just stays with a problem for months or even years until the client is able to get the card. So it's this is a point that makes all the difference between addressing and solving the problem and actually just postponing it.
Okay, I think for today we discussed the main points. I don't think that we should elaborate more. As you said, it's not clear what is the outcome. It's not clear what are the next steps. So once we will have a clear information, decision and the law published, then we'll act accordingly. But I do hope that we help to people who may be not our clients clarify the actual situation and define the certain strategic plan in order to be not so much stressed in the current scenario. So thank you very much, Maria, once again. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.